Welcome back, folks, to Let's Play Star Trek Judgement Rites. And when last we left off, we were given an ominous message from the future. Yes, the USS Alexander had tried to warn us of the impending destruction of the entire United Federation of Planets in 8 days. Unfortunately, they weren't actually able to tell us the full extent of the threat, as their ship blew up before they could actually give us all that information. However, they were heading to this space station, which suspiciously is being, well, certain areas of it are actually impenetrable to sensors because of force fields, and it has some non-Federation equipment. But as a science vessel, I suppose that is justifiable in some regards if the equipment is needed for their experiments. There were also some Elasi pirates in the area. Spock doesn't believe that the experiments the station is doing could destroy, or did rather, destroy a large part of this galaxy, as the Alexander would have been destroyed as well. Whereas Kirk believes that the Elasi are more involved than the rest of the crew are willing to believe. We've lowered the shields and the weapons because we can't teleport onto this, can't beam down onto this station without having the shields down. So, let us beam down. No red shirt, you'll note. An important thing to consider.
Greetings, Dr. Monroe. I'm Captain Kirk.
Now, notice the guy on the right seems quite surprised by our presence. Nobody else seems to be, though. They all seem quite relaxed. And they're all looking at us right now going, hey, what's he doing? He's not actually continuing the conversation. Let's actually click to continue.
Yes, it's been made clear who you are, Captain Kirk. Espoir Station is glad to meet you. In fact, we have something interesting to show you.
That is very ominously worded, Dr. Monroe. Very, very ominously worded.
That may be why we're here.
Yeah, this is all very ominous. Also, note the animation for the voices when they're speaking. Nice little addition there from the first game. So, let's see what on earth they have to show us. Hopefully it's something useful. Oh. Yep, that's, that definitely plays into the ominous nature of what had previously been stated.
The modified tractor overload beam can be quite lethal, Captain. I suggest you surrender immediately or we will crack your ship like an egg.
Whoa, that's that's quite a threat you've got there, and I'm pretty sure they're able to carry it out.
Why are you doing this?
That is a very neutral response, just to try and get more information.
You won't get away with this.
That is a slightly more aggressive response.
How can a loyal Federation scientist do a thing like this?
And that also is probably not going to get us much information. I think we're going to go with the first option here.
Why are you doing this?
Let's find out.
Actually, Kirk, I'm the one pulling the strings.
Ah, Dr. Verdell. Welcome back.
Verdell.
If anyone remembers Verdell from the 25th anniversary, he was in the last mission of that. And we weren't happy to see him then either.
Jim, isn't he that maniac who wanted revenge on you and...
Yup. He is indeed, Dr. McCoy. He is indeed.
I am the one who headed the Verdell program to build our improved versions of your starships. And despite the setback caused by your interference, I survived.
Yes, he did try to build the Enterprise 2, a very catchy name there, Dr. Verdell. I imagine if that one had failed, you'd have then made the Enterprise 3. It did have a quite nasty additional set of weapons. But fortunately, I imagine because the crew of the Enterprise are better at piloting it, we managed to destroy the Enterprise 2, and basically expose the Verdell program of building improved versions of Federation starships, and I believe get it shut down. But we believe potentially that Dr. Verdell might have died in that. Evidently not.
I thought you were killed when your pathetic imitation of the Enterprise was destroyed.
Evidently not, Kirk. He's, in the communication right in front of you.
Fortunately, a cloaked Elasi frigate transported me before my bridge was destroyed. Fortunate for one of us, that is.
I bet that was you. Am I right? Fortunate for you, not for us, because we're the ones that are inevitably in serious trouble.
You intend to destroy the entire Federation?
I believe he does.
Is that the only thing you ever think of, Verdell? Revenge?
Probably. He does seem intent on revenge.
Of course, Verdell, even surrounded by your goons. You're You're still too much of a coward to face me in person.
Not a good idea to say that one.
You intend to destroy the entire Federation?
It doesn't matter which option you select here.
Guards, put them in the brig and let them rot.
Yep, we're going to be in the brig, and the brig has some pretty loud music.
Welcome to Espoir, Captain Kirk. I've been asked to make certain your stay is uncomfortable. What did you do to Dr. Verdell anyway?
Well, it's nice to know that there's somebody here to make sure that the stay is uncomfortable. I mean, imagine if it wasn't uncomfortable enough. We'd have to go and get somebody to make it more uncomfortable. What did we do to him anyway? I think it's time for a plot dump, folks.
11 years ago, as lieutenant on the Farragut, I exposed his scheme to overthrow the Verdell Council. They dismissed him from their science council in disgrace. He's vowed revenge ever since.
Yeah, that would pretty much be a justification for revenge.
That explains it. Never get involved in politics or get on the good doctor's bad side.
Doesn't sound like he particularly likes Verdell.
It doesn't sound like you care that much for Verdell.
He's over there, McCoy. Not that way, over there. You're not going to look at him? Oh, fair enough.
Well, he's never been interested in winning popularity contests. By the way, the name's Shem. Manao Shem.
Ah, that is a name that we're going to need to use in a moment, but let's look around our cell.
The cold, hard surface of a prison wall.
Yep, we're not going to find much there, but
The wall seems weaker here than in other places.
that is an important thing to note. There are two ways to actually get out of this cell. The first way is to use that weaker part of the wall. The second way is to persuade this security guard to let us out. For now, however, we're going to save.
Save
Because I believe we need to save. After all, things have gotten pretty terrible for us. Let's have a look at our fellow officers. There's no red shirt here, so anybody that dies is critical to the mission, and thus we just lose.
Mr. Spock, wondering why logical solutions never seem to be very good at prison escapes.
It is a little bit of a jab at the fact that they tend to escape prison in rather farcical ways in these episodes.
Dr. Leonard McCoy, who silently counts the hours remaining before the Federation is destroyed.
That's not many. Let's talk to them, shall we? Maybe they'll give us some help.
Captain, I estimate the odds of finding and destroying Verdell's doomsday weapon at 186 to 1.
Well, that's not actually as long as I thought it might be.
That's better odds than usual.
Yeah, indeed.
I am factoring in your record at performing nearly impossible feats, Captain. Otherwise, the odds would be 8,552 to 1.
It's an interesting point to note. I didn't mention it last video, but with the death of the voice actor for Mr. Spock, it is very nice to hear him once again, even if it is in the long, long past. Even if it is in the long past. There are actually a lot of people in this game who are not alive now. I mean, you have the DeForest Kelly, Leonard Nimoy, you have the voice actor for Scotty as well. There aren't that many of them left alive.
What would I do without your encouragement, Spock?
I don't know.
I cannot speculate, Captain.
Well, let's talk to the ever-positive and ever-optimistic McCoy.
I'm getting a little too old to play hero, Jim.
But you do it so well, Bones.
Does he really? Does he really? We have none of our items. They've all been taken away from us, so our only options are to either do stuff with this panel or talk to the security guard. And Kirk is looking at us to consider what option we're going to do, and we're going to talk to the security guard because this is the nicer way of doing it. And generally, sparing lives, being reasonable, and talking your way out of situations actually generally gets you more score at the end.
You get no response.
I should probably talk to him, actually.
What's on your mind, Captain?
I accidentally clicked a little bit away from him.
Dr. McCoy, he's very sick.
That is not going to work, Kirk. That is possibly one of the most cliche things you could say.
You wouldn't happen to be related to Vakata by any chance?
Ooh, now there's one that could work.
Do you realize that you're working for a madman?
Well, that's technically true. I don't think he's really going to be persuaded by that.
When do we eat around here?
You don't. I think the idea of being in the brig here is that Verdell intends for you to die. I don't think he's ever going to give you anything to eat.
Dr. McCoy, he's very sick.
Let's go with the option about the relation.
You wouldn't happen to be related to Vakata by any chance?
I believe he is.
Yes. He was my father.
Was?
How's he doing?
Kirk, really? He said was. How do you think he's doing, Kirk?
He's dead. He tried to betray the Verdell starship program to the Federation and was executed 9 years ago.
Really? You asked that, Kirk?
I'm sorry to hear that. I knew him when I was on Verdell. He was a good man.
Well, if you have Kirk's seal of approval, he must have been a good man.
Obviously, someone felt differently. Since then, Dr. Verdell took me under his wing. I proved more able as a security officer than as a scientist.
Oh.
Then you should know that Verdell is insane.
Well, that's probably true. I don't think that's really going to persuade him, Kirk.
Why don't you try coming inside for a moment? Let's see how tough a security officer you are.
Yeah, I don't really think that option's going to work either, Kirk. Primarily because you're the one stuck in the force-fielded area, completely contained. Why would this man come in here and endanger the operations of of Verdell just to try and basically answer your goading when you're not in a position of strength? Not going to work, Kirk.
And what do you think of your father's death?
That's a good question, though.
How do you think I felt?
Angry.
I called him my friend. He had the courage of his beliefs.
True, but probably not going to help in persuading him to let us out.
It must have been difficult having people constantly saying that you are a traitor's son. How many times did Verdell say that to you?
It doesn't seem like he's very susceptible to goading, so we're not going to try and goad out an angry reaction here.
Help us avenge his death. 10 years ago, he helped me expose him to the Verdell Council. He died because he was Verdell's enemy, not because he was a traitor. If I can expose Verdell's plans, then your father's name will be cleared.
That might persuade him.
I have a duty, Captain. A responsibility to guard this station and its crew. If I do as you ask, I betray the man who killed my father, and also betray a lot of friends in station security who did nothing to him.
That's a good point. He is concerned ultimately about his friends.
It's a difficult choice. Questions of morality are always difficult.
True, but that's not going to get us anywhere here, Kirk.
Your friends are alive. Your father has no one except you.
That's not going to get us anywhere either.
And how does Verdell treat your friend?
My guess is terribly, so we're going to do that.
You have a point. I suppose I can let you go. I'll turn off the force field. Your weapons, communicators, and tricorders are stored in the lockers in this room. I'll try to convince security to turn against Verdell.
There we go. That's a good response.
You remind me a lot of your father, Monroe.
Unfortunately, after this, I will remind everyone about my father.
Ah, yes. Well, looks like he's going to let us out, which is good.
It's generous of you to take me with you, but I better lay low for a while. If you fail, I might be able to do something later to stop it.
Alright, let's go. Let's leave out of this brig and head into this room where all of our stuff is. If you hadn't...
I've opened the lockers. Try not to kill anybody. Some of these people are my friends, although I suppose I may as well start using the past tense. I'll follow after you've used the turbo lift.
Fair enough. He's opened the lockers for us. If you had used the panel to basically try and short-circuit the force field, he'd have rushed in and a Vulcan net pinch would have been applied by Spock. Not the best way to deal with this. Here's our stuff.
A locker. It is unlocked. This is where your tricorders and med kit are being kept.
Well, let's take them. We're definitely going to need them. Gee, forget.
Tricorders and med kit taken.
Excellent. This one inevitably... Oh, that is the wrong button. I wanted to press L. This one will inevitably have the other stuff in it.
It is unlocked. This is where communicators are being kept.
Now, I'm not going to use the communicators because I get the feeling...
Communicators taken.
I get the feeling we're not going to have the chance to do that anyway. Oh, pressed O again rather than L. Because I get the feeling they're monitoring all communications.
A locker. It is unlocked.
It is.
This is where your phasers are being kept.
Now, we have two different... basically, we have...
Phasers taken.
We have stun, and we have kill. We want to be using stun wherever possible here. We want to be using stun wherever possible, because after all, we're trying not to kill people here. Some of these people are this man's friends, and some of them are just following orders.
Dr. McCoy looks at the cell in disgust.
Not surprised there.
Mr. Spock considers a logical solution to their problem.
Indeed. Let's, talk, shall we?
Jim, stop at a place where I can write my last will and testament.
We could stop right here.
Heaven forbid, Bones.
What about Spock?
The layout of this base is interesting, Captain. Its modular design makes it easier for a small security detachment to guard.
The Vardane values secrecy even more than security.
Ah, that is true.
I'm not in a talking mood, Captain.
I'm not surprised. Now, there are a number of things we could do here. We could actually just use the communicators and try and communicate with the Enterprise. If memory serves, that is a bad idea, and actually gets you into a lot of trouble.
A pass card reader. This device opens the lockers when the appropriate pass card is inserted.
Well, we don't need to do that, because we basically have got out of here anyway, so we should actually... I suppose we could use various things. We could use our scanning devices and see what we could find.
Nothing on this tricorder, Captain.
Fair enough.
Nothing on this tricorder, Captain.
I think we actually need to use a different tricorder. The scientific one?
Nothing on this tricorder, Captain.
Oh wait, we are actually trying to use a tricorder on a tricorder!
Standard Starfleet Science tricorder.
There we go, we want to actually use this. Just in general.
Nothing unusual about that object, Captain.
Not a surprise there. Not a surprise there at all. If we press the U button again, it goes back to here, and we actually want to see if we can use this turbo lift. There we go. Now, as you can see here, there is actually a, basically a layout. We are in detention right now. There is a yellow alert as well. There are areas that have life support, vacuum, under construction, which is that one, and radiation. I think we want to, where do we want to head right now? That is a good question. There are a lot of places we could actually head. We should probably go this way. Oh! That's the security team!
There they are! Get them! Fire!
Quick! Oh, time to use our stun phasers. There we go. They're indeed stunning us, but we are, we're fast on the draw. Spock will be alright. And they will actually remain stunned for the...
I hate when they do that.
Yeah, not surprised there. The music actually is a lot more subdued now, I believe, for most of these areas. We can have a look at the guards.
This door is labeled Central Control.
We don't want to go in there just yet.
This door is labeled Security.
I'm not sure we want to go in there just yet either.
This door is labeled Transporter Room. This door is labeled Computers.
Ah, we might want to go in there.
Spock appears to be in deep thought.
Well, I'm sure we'll be talking to him in a moment.
McCoy has decided this is not a spot that he'll visit on his next vacation.
Funny that.
Jim, why does everyone not like me? Why does everyone keep shooting at me?
Oh, it was actually McCoy that was shot.
I don't know, Bones. I guess it's your cheerful nature and your stoic silence.
It's a little difficult to actually tell which one is which from behind.
Captain, I would place a high priority on finding a way to win over the security team.
That's a
The
good...
Vardane think they supersede mankind.
Oh, that's not at all what you're actually saying there, but fair enough.
Mr. Shem indicated that the Vardane had little love for Verdell, Captain. I suspect their loyalty is less than absolute.
That is a good point. We're going to have to basically try and win over the security team, because once you have the security team under control, we pretty much have a severe advantage compared to Verdell. We do need to figure out what's going on here, and we also need to figure out exactly how we're going to stop it. I don't think we can actually do anything with the security team.
The stunned guard lies prone on the floor.
Do you have anything we could use? No, you don't. We could use the medical tricorder on him, I suppose. Is he alright? Probably.
These guys make Spock seem decrepit by comparison, Jim.
Oh? Well, fair enough. Well, when we come back, folks, we shall return to Espoir Station, where we shall try and figure out exactly what is going on here. We are free to roam about, but they seem intent on bringing us in alive. Which, I suppose if Verdell wants his revenge is what he intends to do. So, I shall catch you next time, folks. And I shall see you then. Later. No red shirts, though. That means that if they actually start using kill phasers, we're in serious trouble. There's no one to take the first shot for us. I'm sure they won't do that, though. Right? Right?